Okay, so on solve 1, he did the green V, and he just did B prime, L prime, UL, L for you. That's a really good solution. He locked up a little bit, so it ended up being a 241. An alternative solution is the pseudo V, and so it's like a no move pseudo V. So you just do. Either really works. They're both good. They're both really easy solutions. So yeah, solve 1, really no complaints. Just don't lock up. So solve 2, he did the best solution. He just did R, B prime, R prime, and then hedge. So he got a 168 on it, and I think at his level, you should be getting a faster time on that. And so I wrote notes for these solves, and what I wrote was, looked like perfect turning, just do the turning faster. And I think that kind of sums it up, so. So on solve 3, I actually love this solution. So what he did is put the piece there to solve it, but like this, not with the center. And then he moved this over and just did the 3 movie. And then I like how he noticed you can cancel into that L4E. So I actually love that solution. Yeah. This was his worst time. It was 398, the 4th solve. And the reason why it was his worst solve is because he had the worst solution. It was not a great solution. So he did the red V, and he just did U prime R, L, U, L prime, and then L4E. And that's not a great solution. I found something that's better, and it turned out to just be the reverse of the scramble, but that's okay. So what I found was, if you do L prime, R prime here, it makes these 2 blocks right there and right there. And then you can put them in, but while you're putting them in, you do an extra U prime. So you solve that edge. And then it's just, you're left with an insert on this side. So there's a few ways you could do this. You could do it like that, or you could rotate, or you could rotate to do it. So yeah. And once again, on the last solve, he did a really nice solution. So he did blue, and he did U prime, L, R prime, L, and then you get L4E. I don't have any complaints with that solution. So yeah, his 5 solves, I really only disliked one of the solutions, but the turning was really the issue. So we're gonna head over to the video, and I'll see you there. All right, so now we're gonna go over his turning and everything else that you wouldn't see from just recreating his solutions. So I'm gonna turn this on to a very slow speed so we can see everything. So looks like he picks it up nice here. It's hard to tell because he sent a bad angle, but we can glean some things out of here. So the tips are nice. The B prime move is okay, but still, if you remember from the last video, it's better to do it with regripless. Okay, yeah, so there, looks like he did the flick, I like how he did the flick, but he didn't finish the turn, and it almost looks like his cube is too loose, but that might just be an assumption. But yeah, you should be working on accuracy, because that's something I noticed throughout the solves, but we'll get to that in later solves. So here we are in the next solve. Tips. I like that B move. I love that B move. It's like the flick with the B move. I love that. And then, okay, yeah, turning looks nice on this one. And this ledge is nice. Yeah. I'd say it looks like you just need to turn a little faster, to be honest, because this was pretty accurate turning, but it just looked like you were turning slow. So maybe try to bump the speed up, although that will definitely come with more solves. So yeah, this was the one I kind of had a problem with. Look at how much you mess up on the tips. Like that one's still left and that one's still left, and you're like wasting a lot of time. You're like moving the cube to compensate. So yeah, just messing up like one tip. Look look at, you kind of went into like panic mode just because you messed up one tip. You're like started moving the cube towards you, and yeah, that's a normal reaction, but that's why you should try your hardest to not mess up this. But I love those U moves. Keep doing those. Okay, next solve. So yeah, what I've seen so far is your U moves are great. Your B moves could use some work. You want to do the regripless ones. And your tips could also use some work. And your accuracy could use some work too. Okay, tips aren't bad. Okay, I didn't like that. That U move was bad. So, in general, pulling from the back is just a bad idea. And it's probably the most common and the worst mistake that I see in everyone, from like beginners to like sub 2 guys. Everyone seems to like those pulls from the back, and it wastes a lot of time, whereas you could just flick from the side and it's regripless and everything is better. So yeah, this is bad. And look, you also, when you did that, it also increases the likelihood of a lockup because you're moving your hands everywhere. Look at that hand, it has to move. So yeah, in general, bad idea. Here's just a lockup. It doesn't seem like, it just seemed like you got nervous or something. It didn't seem like a lockup that would usually happen, or it didn't seem like there was any obvious turning mistakes that led to that lockup. Yeah, you did have some trouble with accuracy on a lot of these solves. Like even this one, you're like underturning or overturning. You're relying a lot on corner cutting, which, I mean, it's not bad. Like, why not rely on corner cutting? But sometimes you should be finishing turns. Again, pulling from the back is not ideal. I'm not gonna hate on that R prime move, regripping for that R prime move, because it's hard for me to tell from the angle, the placement of your other hands and things like that. But in general, if you have your R prime, you can actually just keep it in home grip and do an R prime. But I'm not gonna criticize that right now because I don't know the circumstances, just because of the angle. And okay, look, there's a perfect example of, look at that, look, you're like pulling the piece, but the rest isn't lined, so it's like, that's not a normal thing for a cube to do. So that comes down to a few things. Your cube probably isn't that loose, but that's definitely not helping. And also pulling from the back just isn't helping you at all. Like I never pull from the back, and it's just an unnecessary regrip in my opinion. Yeah, I think that's really holding you back, is those U and U prime moves where you're pulling from the back. I think that's really holding you back. So yeah, the biggest thing is fix those U and U primes. Maybe work on accuracy, maybe tighten your cube a little bit. And yeah, and I think the turning is the problem, just the accuracy and the U moves, that's really hurting you. But the solutions were great overall. So yeah, good job.